So after creating the database and table and adding record to it, let's now create a Java class that will connect the database in the form. So let's go back again to the projects tab and then make sure that the class you're going to create is inside the project that you recently created, which is the login project, and then right click on it on the package inside the project, then click new, then choose Java class. Let's name our class connection. For example, last name login connect. Then click finish button. Again, give some time to the IDE to give you the working area for our source code. So this is the how it would looks like. Let's click on here and write our source code to connect the database in the form. So let's make the method public so we could access the method inside this class even if we are outside the other class. Connection. Connection is a class inside the connect is a method. Do not forget the curly bracket. Enter. So we have as a warning here. Let's click on it. Okay, it can't find the class connection. So simply click on the last line and then Alt Enter on your keyboard. Then let's import the class Java SQL connection. Let's change it to asterisk for future future reference to avoid the same problem, just if in case we're going to use a method like this one. Connect DB is a method under the connection class. In this java.sql asterisk, this connection class is one of the built-in class under the SQL or SQL that we are importing in order to connect to our database. So by doing so, there's no need for us to create the user end method since it is already available in the SQL class, the built-in one, and that makes our task easier as programmer. Let's continue writing the source code. Connection equals con plus null. It means that we do not, just if in case the value for our con is null. This is how our program would behave. So we're actually creating the method here. Then let's use the try catch. Con equals driver manager get connection. So there would be three parameters here. So these are the parameters. And not forget the semicolon at the end. Return on. We will complete that later. Make sure that when you add the open close parenthesis, it's always comes in pair. So catch SQL exception example X. Let's complete the parameters here in the driver manager, and do not forget to add the driver later to avoid future problem. So how do we get the connection? Let's go to services tab again, and then click on our created database, right click on it, then choose properties. In the properties dialog box, go to the database URL, click on the ellipsis, and then copy the location of our database, highlight it, Control C on your keyboard, then close, and then paste it on your source code, or Control V on the keyboard. So to be sure of the actual location of our database. And in the second parameter, we're going to place here the username and password, username for the second and for the third password, third parameter. Remember that when you create the database earlier, you place the username and password for your database. If you remember, we had staff, place staff here as the username of our database, and then we also place staff as the password for the database. So do not be confused with the username and password that we created for our form. This is for the database. Okay, so done with the return on. This is now how our program would behave if the connection is successful. Now, what happened if, for example, we do not have the try here? Let's delete this. happen if we do not have that? Assuming that we created this like this. Let's remove all this part, the block for the try catch. Make sure to check the pairing. Okay, this is this one. Okay, good job. So what happened if this is how we write our code? So you see the symbol here. Now to see the hint again, click Alt Enter on the keyboard. So there's a suggestion. Again, this make the Netbeans user friendly to the programmer. You could just simply click what you need. For example, we would be needing the try catch here, so we choose surround statement with try catch. Just click on it, and that's what happened. Instead of typing the try catch block, just like what we did earlier, you could just simply do that. Okay, so to lessen the coding, that's part of your debugging skills now. So as you can see, again, check the pairing. So of course it is right, it is created by our IDE. With the pair. Let's arrange it. Anyway, it will not affect the code, but to make it easy to read, so let's arrange it that way. So we have now the try and catch block. We have another warning symbol here. So what are we going to do? Alt Enter on the keyboard. So it says add return statement. This part of the standard for creating the block. We have to return the value. Even if it's null, we have to place it. Return null. Okay. Notice the additional import utilities. So we have the logging class and the level and the logger method. So we're going to use it here in our source code. That's the reason why we are importing the built-in class of the Java utility. So this is now our Java class to connect our form and the database. So to complete this, we need to create an event to our login button in our login form. So we'll go to our login form.